Well, hey there, first and second graders. Welcome to lesson number 3 of our notes and rhythms videos. It's time to learn, or at least practice, some of our notes that we've been working on the last couple weeks. But first, let's make sure that we review, that we know what all of the different notes are. So here we are, a little review on all of our 3 notes and symbols. Here we go. The first music note we're going to learn about is called a quarter note. A quarter note will have one clap, and it'll sound like this. One more time, one clap. Do it with me. Just one clap now. When we see a rest symbol that looks like this, we are going to rest and not do anything. So we're not going to clap. We're not going to say anything either. In fact, we're going to make our rest sound. And our rest sound to help us out is going to be shh. Can you do that with me? Shh. One more time. Shh. Make sure when you do that, you take your hand and put your finger up towards your mouth and go shh. And our new note looks like this. It is called an eighth note. Can you guys say that? Eighth note. Like the number 8. It's an eighth note. So you'll notice that these eighth notes actually have something between them, don't you? They can sit on their own, and they have what's called a flag, and that's how you know that there's just an eighth note there. But when we see them most of the time, we're going to see them together, double, like this. These two eighth notes have a beam between them. Remember we looked at the beam when we talked about the parts of a note? So it could have a flag if it's just on its own, but normally it's going to look like this with the beam. And we're going to see them together, just like this. And so, if a quarter note was only one clap, this one can be sure that when we see something like this, it's going to be 2 claps, because there's 2 notes. We're going to call this note not an eighth note normally, although that's what musicians call it. We're going to call this note a cherry. That's right, we call it cherry. And when we say cherry and clap, it's going to sound like this. Cherry. One more time. Cherry. One more time. Cherry. Notice it was 2 claps while we said cherry. All right, did you get all that? Because this week we're going to be practicing some of those notes and symbols, but in a little bit bigger form. It's going to be a little more challenging this time, okay? So let's take a look at what that means, yeah? So, here is 2 measures. That's right, 2 measures. See, we have beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we have a break for our first measure. And then we get into beats 1, 2, 3, and 4 again. And then remember, the double lines tell us to stop. Now, it's really important. We don't stop or pause or anything like that right here in the middle of the measures. We don't do that. We just keep going, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started with it, yeah? So our first one says, jam, shh, shh, jam, shh, jam, shh, jam. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Again, one more time. It says, jam, shh, shh, jam, shh, jam, shh, jam. And it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, shh, shh, jam, shh, jam, shh, jam. You guys able to do that? Stop the video right here and practice a couple times, okay? All right. Remember, you can always go back and check out what I did to make sure that you guys got it, okay? Well, let's look at our second example, yeah? Our second example is another challenge one, and it says, cherry, cherry, jam, cherry, cherry, jam, jam, shh. Interesting. You guys think you can do that? All right, here we go. It's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cherry, cherry, jam. Cherry, cherry, jam. Jam, shh. Are you guys able to get that? Pause the video here and practice it, okay? And remember, you can always go back and listen to my example if you're having trouble. All right, halfway there. We've got 2 more practice examples, okay? The next one goes like this. It says, shh, cherry, jam, cherry jam, cherry, shh, shh. Well, let's try it. Let's see if we can do it. Ready? On 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shh, cherry jam, cherry jam, cherry, shh, shh. Make sure you pause the video here and practice. Make sure you go back to listen to my example if you're having trouble. All right, that leaves us with one more example. Okay, here we go. So this last practice one, pretty interesting one. It says, jam, shh, jam, 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 shh, jam. Think we can do it? Well, let's try it. Here we go. On 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam, shh, jam, 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 shh, jam. Were you able to do that one? Make sure you pause right here and practice, okay? Try it a couple of times. And come back and listen to this part if you need some help. All right, well, that's our practice for this next couple weeks. There's going to be some questions and things to do to make sure that you got this even further. Make sure you practice this, okay? And enjoy our sing-along videos for this week. I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Bye now.